Okay, for your IREAD practice today, we are actually going to practice a pretend login to the real test. Okay, so this is what your test is actually going to look like when you come to the school to take your state test. All right, now you guys have never taken state tests before. Third grade is the first grade that the state makes tests for students. So this is a brand new experience for you. So I am prepared for questions. I am expecting questions. Questions are good because it lets me know that you need more information and it helps you be more comfortable with new experiences. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this together today from the IDOE practice site. All right. Okay, so here's what this is going to look like today. On your seesaw, you have an activity that just released to you. It is called IREAD Practice, IDOE. IDOE stands for Indiana Department of Education. We are going to go to the Indiana Department of Education's website today. Okay. I am going to ask that we do slide 10 first, but you don't have to click response. You can just click on the link. So right here in the directions, there is a blue link that says HTTPS login 12 cloud. Okay, when you click on that link, it's going to open you up to a page that looks like this. Go ahead and click on that link, please. I'm going to unlock it right now. There you go. Go ahead and click on that link. And I will push it out as well. Camille, a question? Camille, you are super choppy, sissy. I couldn't hear you at all. Can you type that in the chat for me, please? Terrence, question?
Sharks do have bones.
Not what we're on right now, baby. Levin, question?
I'm on guest user and guest session. Do I press sign in?
Yep, not yet. I just want you to hang out here. Okay.
Okay.
So right now I'm looking at screens and making sure we're all here. When you take the test is timed. So you actually will have to wait for everybody else in your class to wait to click on sign in, because if you click it early, your timer starts and then you won't know the directions because I'm not going to read them to you until everybody's ready. So this is good practice. Just sit and wait for it to come up. Okay. All right. Go ahead and click that sign in button and then wait. Your screen should look like my screen. I do not want you moving ahead. If you moved ahead on accident, you can X out and click on the link again to start over. But you need to be sitting tight, okay? Your screen should look exactly like mine. So you should have clicked sign in. It's going to bring you to a screen that says student grade level. You are third graders. Go ahead and select grade 3. And then it's going to bring up this green and purple arrows. Okay, green and purple arrows. See those? Gotta remember which one we're going to. Hold on. 3, 19, 20, okay. I want you to scroll down to the purple. Please scroll down to the purple. Yes, Camille, this is the state's practice test. And yes, Leah, you'll hit that link. Okay, I want you to please select right over here. I'm going to leave it highlighted in purple. Start IREAD or 1920 IREAD released items. Please click on that link right there. IREAD 3 released items. That's the one we're going to click on. Go ahead and click on it. I'm going to leave it showing purple on my screen so that you can see it if you need it. Okay. Yes, Camille, you're going to go click on the link right here in the directions and click sign in. When you click sign in, you're in third grade and then you're caught up. It'll bring you to this purple arrows at the bottom. So click on that link and then click on the arrow and hold. Elijah, you don't do anything next because I have not given directions next, so you just sit and wait. Terrence, question?
Yes.
What's up?
Is this actually? Are we actually taking a test for practice?
So when you come in on Tuesday, we'll take the practice test that's attached to your name. You'll actually sign in with your name. This is just showing you what the test is going to look like because it's not on Seesaw. And yesterday, a lot of you asked questions like, what's it going to look like? Why isn't it on Seesaw? So I'm showing you today what it actually looks like. Okay, so this isn't the real practice test, but this is just so you can see it and be familiar with it. All right. All right, so you should have clicked on start. IREAD 3 released items. Okay, that's going to bring you up to a screen like this. You do not need to play with any of this. Okay, so I just want you to go down and hit that green button that says select. There's no reason to play with anything like that. Okay, hit select and it looks like this. Elijah, if you see my screen, you can see if you're on the right page. Camille, you're going to push the purple button that says start 1920 IREAD 3 released items. IREAD 3 is what you're looking for. Okay. You'll see a green button at the bottom that says begin test now. Okay, I'm going to come check your screens. So Terrence is there. Elijah, go down to the purple arrows and click on the one that says 1920 IREAD 3. Purple arrows, 1920 IREAD 3. Okay, good. So you're hanging out right there at that screen. Awesome, you got it, Camille. Okay, I want you to go ahead, please, and click on that begin test now. Okay, the screen that you are seeing right now on my screen and hopefully on yours because you clicked start is how IREAD looks. At the top, I want you to notice the tools that we have. There's a next arrow and a back arrow for you to go to the next question or go back to a question that you want to check. There is a save icon, but we are not at Indian Creek ever going to click save because we're not ever going to have you stop in the middle of a test. Okay, so that would be like if you were taking the test and it was lunchtime, but we've set up the schedule so that your test will never have to be saved. It will just be turned in. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that save button. Over here in the right are some tools. There's something called the line reader. Go ahead and click on that line reader and you'll notice it makes the first line blue. Later on, when you're reading a story, you can use the line reader to focus on one specific part. Okay. If these words are too small for you, you have the zoom in and zoom out tools, just like you do on Seesaw. So you can see those more easily if you need to get closer to them. Go ahead and practice using that zoom in and zoom out tool. Terrence, a question?
The line reader doesn't read.
Correct. It does not read to you. It just focuses you on a specific line. Okay. I read is exactly what it says. I read. It's not I listen while something reads to me. It's I read. Okay. So it's testing your ability to read. Good point, Terrence. Over here in the right corner, there is a drop-down menu. I want you to go ahead and click on that. It's 3 lines with an arrow pointing downwards. Okay. There is something called mark for review. If you're working on a question and you think it's tricky and you want to check it later, you can click on mark for review and then see this little flag. When you go to turn in your test, it's going to say, do you want to look at that tricky question again? So it's kind of like skipping it and then coming back when you have more time. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the first question. Which word has the same vowel sound as sad? Ah. Click on the answer that goes with your choice. Go ahead and click on an answer, and then in about 30 seconds, we'll look at the correct one. Which word has the same vowel sound as sad? Camille, why can't you get on yet? I can see your screen that you're at those arrows.
I'm on where it says design features.
Okay, click the green button at the bottom. And then click the green button again that says begin. Then you'll be on the first question with us, okay? Click that green button again, Sissy. Begin test now. There you go. All right. Which word has the same vowel sound as sad? I'm looking at your screens and I'm very happy because you all got it correct. It is crash. Sad, crash. It has that that short A sound. Okay, we're gonna go to the next question. Up here in the top left, you're gonna click next. If this were the real IREAD, you would do the same thing. It's gonna look just like this. Little blue line at the top, green tools, question. The only thing that'll be different is your name won't be guest. It will be your name. Choose the word that means the same or about the same as the underlined word. Was sad. Take a look at which word means the same. Choose it. Aiden Hampton, a question?
Oh, never mind.
Y'all good? All right. Give you another few seconds. Choose your answer. Okay. The word that means the same or about the same as sad is unhappy. If someone is sad, they are unhappy. Okay. So if you did not click on unhappy, go ahead and do so now. Click on that next arrow. Okay, I am not going to read this to you. You need to read the directions, read the question by yourself, and then choose an answer. Read the question, read the directions, choose an answer. John, it's hard to see your screen when you have something over your face, baby. Please take that off. Thank you. Oh, your head was down. Sorry. I thought it was over your head. Yes, Aiden Hampton.
Do I press next after I'm done or just sit?
Just sit and wait because I'm going to show the correct answer.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for checking in. All right, you should have selected the opposite of the underlined word to give. The opposite of give is to take. If you give something away, the other person is taking it away. The opposite is take. If you did not select the correct answer, go ahead and select the correct answer now. Click on that next arrow. Let's look at 4. Again, I am not going to read this to you. Read the directions, read the question, choose your correct answer. Yes, Aiden G.
Can I share my screen? I don't know what just happened with my test and my practice. It just says you have entered a response to one or more items on this page.
Click on no, please. You accidentally clicked next before you chose an answer. You got to choose an answer before you can move on. All right. There you go. Okay.
Okay.
To show you the correct answer. As I'm showing you the correct answers, this is not just wait for me to show it to you and then click on it. This is a way for you to see how well you're doing and what you need to practice, okay? It says read the sentences, then choose the word that correctly completes both sentences. The blank is coming down the track. You can blank your dog to fetch the newspaper. The train is coming down the track. Chugga, 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 choo, choo. You can train your dog to go fetch the newspaper, like go boy, fetch. So train, one word, two different meanings. Okay, questions on that one? All right. Yes, Christopher.
There's another word that's right there. Teach is kind of like the same like train. You teach your dog to fetch the newspaper.
You can, but the teach is not coming down the track. It's got to complete both sentences. Okay, so some of these words will make sense in one of the sentences, but not both together. Does that make sense, Christopher? Is that still confusing? All right. Okay, click on that next arrow for me. You're on question 5. Camille, get that camera on, please, sis. Find the word that has the suffix and only the suffix underlined. Suffix and only the suffix underlined. Oops, and I wasn't supposed to read those directions to you. My bad. Okay, you should have selected A, careless. Less is a suffix at the end of the word care. Less means without. So if you are careless, it means you are without a care. Terrence, a question. Terrence, if you are talking, we can't hear you right now. There you go.
Can now hear me?
I can.
Okay, so are we going to be doing, is this our assignment basically for today or for reading?
You still have some seesaw work, but this is, I want you to see what it looks like and sounds like and feels like.
Okay.
11, a question.
Yes, are we doing this for a grade?
Right now, no. And the real IREAD is not going to be on your report card, but it does go on your permanent record. So your record follows you all the way through your school career for public education, and it will always show your score. Okay. All right. Next question, go on to 6, please. Look at the directions. Look at the text. This is where if you'd like to use that line reader, look what's happening because there's more than one line of text. I can click on the part that I want it to focus on and it will switch. If you find that line reader helpful, feel free to use it. You do not have to, okay? All right, please choose an answer for both parts of question 6. I will give you about 1 minute. Thirty seconds. Justin, a question. Justin, I can't hear you right now, baby. You have headphones? Choppy robot, baby. Go ahead and type it in the chat to me. There you go. I'm ready to take it in the chat. 11, a question.
Are we doing this homework thing together?
Yep. All right. So this says for each of the blanks, there is a list of words. Choose the word from each list that best completes the meaning of the story? Close the front door so the warm air stays inside the house. You may want to put on an extra sweater if you are still cold. Those are the two answers that you should have selected. Are there any questions about that? All right. Oh, I can only see cane, ring, and shoe. Great point, Justin. I forgot to go over this. Okay, let's talk about this sidebar over here. Justin brought up a good point. Look here, Justin. If you click on this gray on the side, you'll have to scroll down. That is a really good point. So look, Justin said, I can't see sweater. I can only see cane, ring, and shoe. And that is because IREAD does not automatically show you everything. You've got to scroll. Okay. Very good point, Justin. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Make sure that you scroll to see all of the text and all of the answer choices. Terrence, a question.
Or like if you have a pad, then just use 2 fingers and scroll your fingers down.
Yep, whichever way is most comfortable to scroll for you. Okay, very good point. Thank you for bringing that up, Justin. All right, let's go on to question 7. So here's where that sliding comes into play. This screen looks very different from what you've seen before, and here's why. Notice these arrows here. See these arrows? Click on the one to the right and look what happens to the text. Okay, if you're ready for the question, click on that arrow again and it will show you the question. If you don't like it being that large, you can use your scrolling tool to scroll up and down and see it right there as well. Okay, but if you'd like to see more of the text at the same time, go ahead and click that drag arrow out. Okay. Oops. Now, the other thing that you will notice that is different is look right here at 7 and 8, over here in the right corner. That is because there are 2 questions for this text. Just like on our seesaw, how we've had a couple questions about one text. For this text, there are 2 questions. There's question 7 and there's question 8. You will notice that only the question changes. The text does not. Look at the left side, it says snowhopper. When I go to slide 8, it still says snowhopper. The text remains the same, but the question will change. Okay? Now, I've taught you guys this all week. You see a question, you see a text. You're going to read that question first. Okay? All right, so you have to read this question, find an answer, read question 8, and find an answer. That means you're going to have to look in this text here. IREAD is a timed test. If this were the real IREAD, you would have about 5 minutes to answer 2 questions and read the text. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 5 minutes right now to answer questions 7 and 8. Okay, answer questions 7 and 8 and look in your text as well. All right. Oh, that's right. I forgot about the highlight. Let's say you find an answer. Let's say there's an answer right here, and I just completely made that up. When you click on this drop down, you will see it says highlight selection. And it highlights my evidence for me. If I want to take that highlighting away, I can highlight it again and click on remove highlight, and it will go away. Okay? So anytime you find an answer over here that you want to highlight, click and drag, just like you would on any other application, and then select highlight selection. If you changed your mind, highlight it again and select remove highlight. Okay? All right, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to answer questions 7 and 8. Go. Terrence, a question?
Yes. So, are we going, I was gonna ask, were we gonna do it in breakout rooms, but.
Nope, we're going to work on this independently because your IREAD test will be independent. So I want to see if you have independent questions. Okay. Aiden Hampton, a question?
It said I reached the end of the test.
You should not have clicked on that next arrow yet because we haven't gone over the correct answers. So just hang out on slides 7 and 8 for me, okay?
Okay.
All right, thanks, bud. Levin, a question?
Yes, what are those lines at the top for? Are those all the questions?
These right here?
No. Up top by next and back.
These here?
No. The lines under them. Are those all the questions that we're going to be answering?
I don't know what lines you're talking about, baby. I'm trying to understand.
Right there.
Right here?
Mm-mm.
Right here? Here? Oh, these blue ones?
Yeah.
No, that's just decoration.
Oh.
There's no purpose on that. It's just decoration. Terrence, a question?
This exact same test we're gonna do.
It is not. So these are examples of questions that we've answered in the past. So these are questions from past tests, but they come out with new questions each year for the test. So they'll be very similar, but they won't be exactly the same.
Okay, but and are we gonna look at other tests another day because you said we have tests for like half an hour.
So this test was just a few examples of each kind. We had some vocabulary, and now we're doing the comprehension. So it's looking at each practice section. Okay. William, a question?
I'm finished.
Perfect. Hang tight. Just like on the real IREAD, you might finish before someone else, but because it's a timed test, we all are going to turn it in at the same time. So this is good practice of just sitting and waiting. All right. Another question, Terrence?
Are we gonna review each test different days?
Yes. Steve Rogers, a question?
It wouldn't let me highlight.
It won't let you highlight, okay? So take a look at my screen. Let's say your answer is right here. You're gonna click and drag so it turns blue. Can you do that part?
Yeah.
Okay, then when it's blue up here, I'm gonna click on this circle that has the 3 lines in it. And I'm gonna click on highlight selection. Can you do that part? Is it working now? Perfect. Aiden Hampton, a question?
That works. Are we gonna do our test on a paper?
No, your test will be on the computer and it will look just like this. There'll be a white screen. You'll have the next arrows. You'll have the zoom tools. You'll have the highlighting. It looks exactly like this.
Oh.
You have 1 minute remaining to answer both questions 7 and 8. Yes, Christopher, question.
What did it say after said? Which of these words means the opposite of the word? What word is that?
So on IREAD, I am not allowed to read it to you, so you have to do your best. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, let's take a look at the answers. Now, obviously on the real IREAD, I'm not going to look at the answers with you, but this is just so you know how you're doing, okay? This is a text called Snowhopper. This is about fleas, tiny insects that live in the snow, and they're called snowhoppers because fleas can jump and hop, okay? So this is a nonfiction text about a real insect in our world. The author writes that no one knows for certain where snow fleas go. Which of these words means the opposite of certain? No one knows for certain. I know when I know something that it is sure in my head. So unsure is the opposite of certain. Okay. I am sure, I am certain that 2 + 2 = 4. I am unsure what 1,497,000 - 63,000 is. Okay. That's something that I am unsure of. It's not known to me. Those are opposites. Okay. So you should have selected unsure as the opposite of certain. Questions on that one? Okay. Let's take a look at question 8. Which of these sentences from the passage best tells where snow fleas search for food? Where snow fleas search for food, okay? So I'm looking in these sentences for something the snow flea eats, okay? Lift your hand up and snow fleas jump off. There's no food there. They look like grains of pepper popping up and down. Ooh, pepper is a food, but it's telling me what they look like. It's not telling me where they find their food. C, when the hooks open, the tail springs out and the snow flea leaps up. That's about it jumping. That's not about food. In the winter, snow fleas chew dead leaves and plants buried beneath the snow. Yep, that is the food that it eats. That's where it finds it, buried beneath the snow. Okay, so that is the correct answer that you should have selected, D. If you did not select answer D, please do so right now. Terrence, a question.
Can you go back to slide 7?
Slide 7, I can. There you are. William, a question.
Do I click submit the test?
We're not there yet. So this is good practice, guys, because a lot of you are like, what do I do next? What do I do? I will always tell you what to do next on testing. And if I hadn't said it yet, you don't do anything. All right, just hang tight. Okay. You answered question 7. You've answered question 8. When you click next, it will tell you you have reached the end of the test. Please click the end test button in the global menu. So I'm going to click OK. Up here, there is a red square that says end test. That red square will appear once you have answered all questions. It will not let you turn the test in if you have blank questions. Okay, so if you click on end test, it will tell you that yes, you've answered your questions and you can click on yes. This is a screen that will pop up as well. It will say, congratulations, you've reached the end of the test. If you need to review your answers, select the question number you wish to review. A flag icon appears for any questions you marked review. So watch this. Let's say, remember I told you about the flag for review button? Let's say I thought question 2 was tricky, and when I finished my test, I wanted to look at it. Look what it does. It reminds me, oh yeah, I wanted to check question 2. I wasn't sure about that. So then before I submit it finally, I can go back and look at question 2 and say, okay, let's see. Sad. Yeah, unhappy is the correct answer. Okay, I feel good with that. Then when I'm done and I've checked my work, they'll go away. So that's why that flag is helpful. It's just kind of like a reminder to you of like, hey, you said you wanted to look at this. Okay. Click on that green submit test button. It will ask you if you are sure. You are sure, yes. And there you go. Now, it obviously on the day of IREAD won't say guest. It'll say your name first and last, but you can go ahead and click log out now and it'll take you back to that home screen. Okay. This is what IREAD will look like, will sound like, and will feel like. Are there any questions, concerns, or comments about your IREAD test according to what you just saw? Anything at all? Terrence?
So, are we going to do the work on Seesaw?
We're going to take a look at some of it, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes, William.
Aren't they just the same questions on Seesaw too?
They are. That's why we didn't take a look at that first. I wanted you guys to see it and feel it. Okay. All right. Okay, as William just pointed out to us, your Seesaw assignment has the exact same questions. So if you go to Seesaw, that assignment where you clicked on the link is in your activities. And when you click add response, you will notice that the questions are exactly the same. Dun, dun, dun. But they don't have all the fancy tools, okay? So I wanted you to be able to practice using the fancy tools. So for your independent practice now, you can focus on looking at the directions and questions again and selecting those answers. And then you can click that check and turn it in, okay? Not a lot of independent work for you today because I wanted you to see it and go through it together. So just take time to look at those questions again on 1 through 8 and see how it looks. Practice reading the directions and understanding them. Practice highlighting your evidence and get that turned in. Remember, when you finish your independent work, you should always, always, always be continuing on with reading activities. So you need to be taking time to look at your Lexia, your reading log, your Mayan, your Epic, okay? Continuing to practice those skills.